Welcome back for another episode of whatever we're going to do today. I'm John Reed, your host, and I think today's session is going to be really interesting. We made some discoveries last time, and so I have a hunch that good stuff is going to happen. So let me say in advance, for those of you in the future watching this on YouTube, if you like what you see, give it a like, like it, and subscribe to get more stuff, and hit the bell to get all my stuff as it comes out on YouTube. Per my Twitch agreements, the Twitch stream itself stays exclusive to Twitch for 24 hours, and then it goes on to YouTube. So that's how it works here. And welcome, folks. I see we have Rick Meister 89 from Virginia, and Mudshark 666 as usual from Sweden, and Kithril 42 says, "Hi John, inspired by you, I recently added a testing app Delegate to my company's app." Oh, that makes me happy. Gosh, I should maybe point that out for anyone who doesn't know what Kithril is talking about. It is something I write about in my book. Let me just do a quick search here. And if you search on my blog for App Delegate, you can see how to switch your iOS App Delegate out. Oh, fast. We love that fast startup. That is a great reason to switch out your real App Delegate for something else during testing so that you don't spend all that time. I recently made a video for a client where I showed them little tricks. And one of the things I kept repeating was that every half second counts. Every half second you can shave off of testing feedback makes a difference, to the point where I said in the video, if you consider that a movie is just a bunch of still images going by, but they're going by fast. And when you decrease the feedback time, the development experience changes, qualitatively changes. And it's a lot of fun. So Kithril, thank you for sharing that with me. That just warms this author's heart. Oh yeah. For those of you who may not know me, well, actually you may know me from Quality Coding, my website, or Q Coding, my Twitter handle, which you see at the bottom there. But I now work full-time at Industrial Logic, which is a 26-year-old agile consultancy where we do training and coaching and coding. This is what we do to help you really get up to speed and accelerate your everything about how you work, which surprisingly is not just code. Like I think I went the first good chunk of my my journey in this stuff thinking that it was all about making the code better. Yeah, that's part of it. That's an important part of it. You have to do that. But code is made of people. Or rather, teams are made of people. So we work on team stuff. So that is where I work and where I'm proud to be. Okay, so what are we doing? We are continuing to transform View Controller Presentation Spy from being half and half Swift and Objective-C, and trying to shift that balance so that it's, well, it never goes down to 0 because there was always the header file. But basically make it so that folks can use this in Swift Package Manager. That's the ultimate goal. That's the goal. And here's where we are. And last time I had, none of you could be here. There was somebody from Europe who was up at a crazy hour because I did my live coding much later than my usual scheduled time. And so I got like folks from Australia, which was fun, but there was still a diehard in Europe, like up at crazy hour. Yeah. No, it's not worth staying up for. You're always here, Mudshark. So I trust that you'll be back whenever I bump off at some weird hour. Where we left. So here's the Objective-C code, or what's left of it. It's starting to shrink a little bit, and we're trying to move this over. Now, all this works with swizzling. This whole library works by swizzling. And where I messed up last time, and we just got down another rabbit hole, was here it is. This is a convenience initializer. So it has to call self init something. And so I went self init. Come on. Oh, I'm like, hey, yeah, I want to set the title, the message, and the preferred style. So there we go. Title, message, and preferred style. Boom. Hey, Rick from the UK. Good to have you back. And I thought, yeah, that's what I want. And that is not what I wanted, because this went off into bad places because I'd completely forgotten that what this is now swizzled out up here. And it's swizzled to that method. Woo! And so I blew up the heap. Stack, rather. I blew the stack. And that is not what we want to do. But if you look at... Actually, I'll go back to the Objective-C. It's easier to see. If you look here, this is the same method. This is the method I'm trying to convert right now. All right, and it sets title. Let's see what we got here. Is it going to show us? Okay. So title is a property, nullable, non-atomic copy. Fine. So we set that. Message is also fine. Preferred style is read-only. Preferred style is read-only, and this is what I am boldly and blatantly setting in Objective-C code. I'd kind of forgotten about this. It's been a while since I wrote it. I'm able to do that with, in Objective-C, you could do this trick and just say, you know what? That preferred style, I'm going to redeclare it in a what's essentially an extension. This is a category thingy. I'm going to redeclare it as read-write. Problem solved. I kind of miss the days when you could just, for the sake of a tool, patch around stuff. Of course, we can't do this in Swift. This is where we are. So this is what I want to say. But if we try to say it, we can't. It is, you may not. You may not. So, what do? We reach for another toolkit, and this is where I think it's going to get fun. we reach for the Objective-C runtime. And we look for this thing called associated object. I don't know why they call it associated references. It's an associated object. We can jam in another object. Let me see if my camera is still alive here. It is, for a change. So right now we have, let me find my code again. This is UI alert controller. So inside of here, we have properties. We have title and message, and those are both fine. But we also have preferred style. Now, the thing with Objective-C properties is, like anything else, you access them by going through the Objective-C runtime. It does it for us. All that is transparent, but anything can be swapped out for anything. But since this is locked out for us, let's see if I can make a lock here. Since this is locked out for us, and there's no way from Swift to say, I want to stick a value in there, then what I want to do is have this associated object. I don't know what it's going to be called. Maybe like extra properties. And this is going to have, whoop, can't spell. This is going to be its own object, so I can set it. And this will be associated like this through the Objective-C runtime. And then, if I can set all this up, then I should be able to swizzle this and say, when you try to access this property, don't. Instead, go to this one. That's the goal. Will we be successful? I don't know, but there are the steps. Let me make sure. Yeah, okay, you can actually see this. Good. I'm glad. Look into that. You should be able to do it if you override the property completely. Not sure what you mean. But I'm open to suggestions. Because if we look at alert controller from the Swift side of things, and we are looking for preferred style, there it is. This is the definition. Okay. So I shouldn't, maybe I don't have to swizzle that because this is open. So I think I think you're right. I think I might be able to do this. Oh, except I do this in a subclass. That's the difference. If it's open, then you can replace it in a subclass. But I don't want to replace it in a subclass. I want to replace it in the real original thing, in UI Alert Controller itself, because that's the goal of this library. Good point. Good question. Oh, you can't see my screen. There. Here we are in UI Alert Controller, and there is preferred style, and there is the open declaration. All right, so let's have a go. The other thing I wondered was, do I want to do this in Objective-C first? And it's like, no, it's all working in Objective-C. I don't need to touch it. And if all this crashes and burns and I say, oh, well, it can't be done, then at least I can like keep what I have. Screen plus overhead. Hopefully you can see. Okay. Something, all right, thank you. Let's have a go. And let's figure out how to call this set associated object, and then you can get the associated object. So let's start by creating this extra properties and see where it goes. All right. So inside of here, no, that's Objective-C. Inside of here. Okay, good. Thanks for letting me know. Let's define a class called UI Alert Controller Extra Property. It's properties, but it could hold more than one. I may need more than one. I may need something else down the road. Properties inside of here. Let's grab that definition. And this is going to be var preferred style. I guess we'll give it an initializer. Yeah, it's got to have. Well, just for now, just for the sake of moving fast, I'm going to say it's an alert. All right. Now, the question is, if I can find the initializer, here we go, and say, let's make a new one of these. Oh, let's start, let me not do this. Let me do it from the intent. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Slow down, John. What I want to say is, I guess maybe it can be a struct. No, it probably has to be an Objective-C class. If it's a class, is it inherently Objective-C? Oh, okay. If it inherits from NSObject, it should be fine. And I want to say, set the preferred style to be that style. Pass to a call that takes no arguments. Can I create the initializer? There we go. Seems to not have picked up that it's UI Alert Controller style. That's okay. And then preferred style equals our self-preferred style. Like that, so I should be able to get rid of that. Let's start off with it as a let. I don't think we'll need to change it after creating it. Okay. So I can make this thing. I can slap this in a variable. Now what I want to do is say obc blah blah blah. Help me. Obc a set associated object. Here's where it's going to get tricky. All right, what's what here? We've got the object that we set it on, a key. Guess it's just some key, and the value and a policy. Don't know what that is. So I should be able to say this is on self. The key, I don't know. It's just going to be like, what's an unsafe raw pointer? Let me start with a string of what I expect this key to be. Like extra properties. The value is going to be extra properties. And what's this? Obc association policy. A uint. It doesn't tell me anything. Here we go. Assign, copy, copy non-atomic. Retain. Retain seems like what I want. Actually, retain non-atomic. So like that. Does it have a funky, nicer name? Do I have to say this dot that? Apparently so. And it's starting to bleed off the edge there, so let me just wrap it around. And it looks like that key, there's nothing complaining about it. So far, so good. So I should be able. Yeah. Hello, Javier. When did you sneak in? Let me try it. Nope. No worries. So let me try building. See if it, okay. So the highlighting is nicer with, at least in app code, probably better in Xcode for this one, but you're exactly right, Javier. Thank you. So that should set it. And that might be enough. Oh, my camera's frozen now, but that's okay because I don't want to change the picture at all. I got lucky. I never know quite what causes that. Unfortunately, if anyone has any ideas, I'm using, I think it's called OBS camera. So we have now the extra properties with the preferred style. In theory, we have an association, although this key, I'm going to have to pull that out eventually so that we can refer to it. But let's now try to swizzle the path to get here. We want to swizzle the getter on preferred style. All right, so this is going to be another swizzle, and pretty sure, I think it said preferred style was only for, oh no, the popover is iOS only. Preferred style is there no matter what. I might have to do something similar for the popover and stick that in. We'll see. Okay. So, replace a class method, replace an instance method. Let's replace, let me copy this. Actually, let me commit. I don't want to lose what I have. Right now, everything is still, like nothing is actually calling this as far as I know, but let's run tests. Yeah, so nothing's calling it yet, but I don't want to lose what I have. So this is something like that. I'll make an extra note that because in Swift, it's read-only. Okay. Now, let's see if we can't replace an instance method, or we're going to replace the getter of, thankfully I have this here, preferred style with a method that's going to be I'll keep the weird prefix. We'll see if we can clean those up later, but maybe not. You know, the process of switching out names might just makes it nicer to have things non-ambiguous. QCO muck. Maybe get preferred style? Or maybe just preferred style. All right, let's try that. So that's what I'm aiming for. Let's create a static var. Not what I want. Let's see what we have here. Whoops. That one is still Objective-C. All right, so down here, we want an Obj-C Is it a function? Probably. Except it's not. It's a getter. Is it like a computed var? Maybe. Let me just return a hard-coded style here. And if all goes well, some tests will pass and some will fail. So there it is. It's a computed property. There it is. Okay, that seems to be working, except I have an error here. Use getter. Okay. All right. And that, at this point, I don't think, actually, if I run tests now, I expect trouble. Let me switch over, where was it? QCO mock with title 2. QCO mock. Nothing is calling this, right? Because this is still going to, oh, here it is. Doink. Now this will call, this class function will call this convenience initializer. I have no idea if this is going to work, but I have a hope that, so let me call the shot. I believe it will work for everything that is an alert. It will not work for everything that is an action sheet. Let's find out. Hey, this is looking promising, folks. You see the tests that fail there are just 2, and both are for action sheets. So now, if I say obj, is it get associated object, or is it, there it is, get the associated object on self with that key, which it's not good to have this duplicated, but I'm going for the simplest win here. So this is going to be the extra properties. And then I should be able to return this type, add explicit type. And I'm going to just be gross and say like that. What's this? Cannot convert any. Why can't you convert any? Can't convert any question to UI alert controller extra properties question. Is there something in here? I thought that by inheriting from NS object, it would be automatically opt-C. I think it is. Yeah, it is. I can see that because it's grayed out. Okay, help! Hey, I made it this far without calling for help. I'm doing a little better this time. But we need to convert or find a, yeah, cast. Oh, how do I cast? As? You mean like, let me just go completely, you know, use those bangs. Okay. That seems to have gone away. Now I'll run tests again. Hey, I got one. The other is about popover. The popover, I'm not surprised that that fails because I haven't implemented that yet. You see, there's you can see it here, mock popover. So this is great. I'll clean this up. What I'm doing with the exclamation points is I'm just trying to see, does this work? And then we can refactor, right? We can clean it up. But so far, so good. I am going to commit this. And this is going to be broken, known to be broken. That's not one I'm used to using. Let's see what Arlo's Git notation has to say about this. Probably broken. Oh, uppercase followed by 2 stars. Okay, so it's like what kind of move you were making. That's why it's an underscore. That's what confused me. All right, so this is really, it's a feature, but I broke stuff. Swizzle preferred style, but popover not yet there. Okay. I'm feeling good about this. All right. Do I want to ignore that and do some commits? Yeah. Let me just let me disable this. To get to green, because it's just the rule of thumb with refactoring is never refactor in red. I could say, you know what, I'm just going to make a mental note that I'm failing this test. And so as long as that test continues to fail, we're good, but it's dangerous. Because what if that test starts to pass and a different test fails and I'm like, my eye goes down and sees, oh, yeah, I've got one test failure as expected, and I've just broken something. So it's better to explicitly get to green and start cleaning up. All right. So let's start cleaning stuff up. So this looks okay. This looks okay. This is okay for now. Here's preferred style. We can get rid of that. This I can inline because it's not used anywhere else. And if JetBrains, if you're watching, please give us the inline refactoring automated refactoring support. Instead, I will do it brute force with copy and paste and run. I expect green. Now I can delete this and run and expect green. And this is repeated here and here. So that's duplication. Let's extract this into what? Really into a, well, I'll start with it as a variable and say this is the extra properties key. And then let me move this. Oh, wait a second. So I can't add it as a property because we are here inside of an extension. You can't slap things in, but I could add it as a static over here. Let's do this. This makes sense. This is a good place for it to be. Yes, I could be as a computed property. But I think it belongs in over here. And I can have it as a computed property here, or I could just keep it here. I'm going to do this. This seems easy, except that this will now just be key. Key or associated object key, to be more explicit. Right, so I should now be able to say, like that, and have this be golden, and replace it here. We'll get to this ugliness, don't worry. And come up, right. Now this is unused. Just delete it. That's kind of a nice pattern to say the associated object itself will define its own key, so that when I need to get it back, I can just say, give me your key. I like that. And. Okay, so now we're on to as. That's where we've got some nasty bangs. There's that bang. Here's a question. The associated object for this object key is guaranteed to be this. So I actually don't mind having the bang. I don't mind it at all. Because if, say, something goes wrong, what am I going to do? I should really croak and die. So this is kind of an interesting debate folks have, is like, shouldn't your thing be resilient? It's like, yeah, but if you're too resilient, then you hide errors. And sometimes it's better to just say, screw it, crash hard. And not because of a programming error. The only programming error is internal to here. So clearly, if once something becomes an API and is externalized, then you want to be safe. Then you want to say, well, who knows what this associated object will be. But here, we are guaranteeing it. We are the owners of this. So I know a lot of folks in Swiftland, it's good to treat exclamation points with skepticism. That's a good thing. But it's kind of like a code smell in that the code smells are indicators that there may be a problem. Maybe. Not guaranteed yes. So this may be a problem, but I say it is not a problem. But I should be able now to get rid of this explicit type. Even this bang doesn't bother me as much, although I could go like this. That one I think I'll keep. Maybe. I don't know. What do you think? Let me toss it up for a vote. How do you feel about you get votes? I get there's 6 of you here now, and I get more votes than you. It's my code. But what do you think? In terms of how comfortable are you? I'm comfortable keeping this. This one, I know it's going to be there. But, so, good question. Was there a default value in the OBC version? That's a good question. Let's find out. Whoops. Come back. Let's do this. Get back over there. Get back in your corner. Oh, no. Get back in your corner. This is my little thing because I don't have another monitor, and I like to know how many are here. It's helpful. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm talking into the void. So yeah, let's find out what's inside of preferred style. And there it is. It looks like the default is action sheet because it is 0. Guardlet, so that if it crashes, it will be on the cast, not on the property. Let me dig into this a little more. I kind of want to see. Let's see. We have UI alert controller here. I want to see the Objective-C side of things. And this is preferred style, right? Preferred style. Yeah, it sure looks like action sheet. Strangely, that action sheet would be the default because it would have a 0 value. So at this point, I have to catch up to you guys. So guardlet, yeah, with a guard, you could create a clear fatal error message in the else block for debugging. You know, that's true. It's like, I messed up. And at this point, it could crash for 2 reasons. That is, so right now, great debate. It could crash right here. If I messed up and gave a different associated object, and the other is it could crash right here if it's nil. That is, if it got nothing back. So those are two things. All right. Let's play with this a little. Let me play around. We say guard let right? Else. And you're saying fatal error was something. No, that's not bad. I do like that better than, you know, it's highly unlikely. But if it crashes, and it crashes on you, like let's say it gets past my tests somehow, and I submit it, or you're not using a tested release. You're pointing at the tip of main, and I happen to like push stuff right now, or I happen to push a mistake, and it gets past my my tests. It would be helpful to communicate to you, the user of this. This is a good thing to keep in mind. To say, get in touch with me, like something gone wrong. I do like that better. So let's do this. And this, by the way, is not something I don't feel a need to like have the fatal error itself tested. I don't write tests like that. Not usually. UCO mock preferred style is non-optional, so we are saying it can never not have a value. Hello, set PT. I don't recall you, but you've been around before, it looks like. So the guard should take care of unwrapping the properties. Oh, so like that. I can see this is a super nice thing about app code is you see I'm using, if you're not familiar with this, this is an implicit type right here. And I can see what the implicit type is. And so if I get rid of this, there's the problem. Problem solved. It's gone. Which means I no longer need that. Very nice. Thank you. Gosh. I get, I'm humbled and I lay down my cockiness of this is my code and I can choose exclamation points when I want to, damn it. I'm liking this much better. Thank you. All right, so let's say associated object of associated object not found, something like that. So do you mean as question? Okay, yeah. Oh, just remove this? I still need as question, it seems. But it looks like right? That's handled by the guard lead. And the nice thing is that it does seem to unwrap to this type. Now let's, not that one, the one after the type. Well, I want to see if this works. Actually, let me put it back. Small steps, John. Small steps. Okay, so that works with the one ignored test. And now let me try this way, and let's see if this works. So if it blows up, it's bad. But if it passes, I'm good. All right. This is excellent. I am satisfied with this. And no. I see this hour has flown by. I'm loving this. I'm assuming that we can never not have extra properties. That might not be the case. Right. I don't want to say, go through an extra thing here and say, can I cast it? I mean, if it's nothing, there's really nothing to cast. But I don't want it to, I don't want to overcomplicate it and say, can I cast it to the optional type, and then can I try to unwrap that optional type? Instead, the as question to the type I want seems to take care of things. So that's enough. Yeah. And if it's not, then the fatal error is clear. I done messed up, and somebody can come after me, or it'll be a clear message to future me. That's the other thing I need to remember, is that messages, this is good learning. Messages like this are not just for you, because hopefully this never gets past my tests, but they are for future me who won't remember this tomorrow, next week, a month from now, a year from now. This is looking very nice. Thank you so much, all of you. And I think we are good. The only thing we are missing is mock popover as the next step. And we don't quite know what that's going to look like. But it looks like, well, we'll see. I'm going to bring that test back. The one I disabled right here. So now this will have the one failing test. That's good. The failing test that used to crash because I wrote all this sort of pre XET unwrap, and then I switched, and so it crashed, and then I'm like, oh, that's old code. Now I can use XET unwrap and I get a clear test failure. All right, so I am good with this. This is going to be a refactoring that's basically broken. Need mock popover. Excellent. And I'm not going to push this because it's broken. Wonderful. Wonderful. All righty. This was cool. And this was like the most progress I feel like we've made, and it all clicked together and it was interesting. I'm calling things I've never called from Swift. In fact, I've only used associated object, I don't know, a couple of times in my long association with Objective-C. So thank you so much. This was fun. And again, for future viewers on YouTube, do all the liking, subscribing, and bell hitting stuff, I learned a bunch too. And this was like I really love it when I learn from you folks about better patterns, ways to avoid that exclamation point. Loving it, loving it, loving it. I'll see you hopefully next week. All right. Carry it on from there. Take care.